she's having a challenge in finding her soulmate, and I think she thought maybe it was Keith. They certainly were very effusive. In fact, to the point of the constant kissing, the constant social media gushing, the very demonstrative behavior, both in person and online, did make a lot of people scratch their heads. However, when I have seen them in person together and have interviewed them on red carpets, there was a time when, and it's always Keith. Keith is the one. Keith is easy. Keith is easy. If you scream Keith, chances are, and he would recognize me from Australian television. In fact, he co-hosted our show one time, so I was dealing with him as a co-host throughout the morning for hours on end. And he's quick-witted, and he was funny, and he was charming. And seeing them on a red carpet, you can scream at the top of your lungs, as you well know. But it's Keith that will usually steer.
Deface this. This is my Bible. Before we get too much into it, I did want to thank today's sponsor.
Thank you so much, Carol G, for sponsoring today's video. I am so incredibly overwhelmed with how much people have been complimenting my skin recently because it is glowing, it looks really good, and I agree, not to toot my own horn, but I do owe it a lot to Curology. A few months back, my skin was at the worst it's probably been for me in years, and I was like, I need something to change that, and so I went onto Curology.com. I was able to message with a dermatology provider and send pictures of my skin, tell my concerns, hey, I have fungal acne, and I got my own custom formula sent to my door. And that's just one of the many reasons why I love Curology, because it comes right to my door. I have tried many different skincare products, my own little concoctions and potions. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a dermatologist. And evidently I ended up harming my skin more than benefiting it. My custom formula is the reason behind my clear skin. Additionally, Curology makes really good acne spot patches. I am prone to skin picking. I'm not perfect, believe it or not. I know, it's really hard to believe. It's a hydrocolloid.
When you look back, why did it take 8 years to drop a second album? And you can't blame being pregnant because you're pregnant now.
No, and that's why we wanted to tell people, like, it was never because I was pregnant, because my mouth is not pregnant. You know what I'm saying? I'm just very, like, picky. Everybody always said that I dropped the ball when I didn't release an album after WAP and Up. But to be honest with you, I only had, like, 6 songs. And I was trying, but I didn't like nothing. It's like, it shouldn't be my second album. And then, like, just a whole bunch of things that was just happening in my life, and I just felt like I wasn't ready.
How many songs you thought you needed? You had joints. You had Press out at that time. Press was hard.
Because Invasion of Privacy was only 13.
Yeah, but I just feel like Invasion of Privacy, I just didn't put a lot of, like, thought in it. Like, I was just like, I have to put an album out. I'm about to have a baby. But then, like, the second one, I think I overthinked it.
But see, that's
and has very few freedoms. We have detailed every injustice against Britney in the previous 4 parts of our series.
But in part 5 of Deep Dive Presents Free Britney, we are going to go deeper than we've gone before.
By exploring the depths of Britney's very public court battle against her conservatorship.
And detail the viral social media campaign that formed because of it.
How do we think Britney's Christmas was? I guess we'll get more into it in this episode.
I mean, yeah, we didn't see a ton from her, which maybe means it was good. God, we're also like 1 month out from the new show starting.
A couple of months ago, my father was hospitalized and almost...
Britney Spears cancels her Las Vegas residency show due to a family crisis.
At this point, Jamie's for sure been out of the hospital for like at least a month. He's expected to make a full recovery. I don't buy that her taking care of him is why this residency is ending.
Really?
Yeah. If Britney's the caregiver, then she's obviously shouldn't be under a conservatorship.
Yeah, it's extreme to cancel an entire residency.
I would love to know, like, how much money was...
Thank you, first and foremost, for being part of this community. The team here at the Diver CEO is now almost 30 people, and that's literally because you watch and you subscribe and you leave comments and you like the videos. That this show's been able to grow, and it's the greatest honor of my life to sit here with these incredible people and just selfishly ask them questions that I'm pondering over or worrying about in my life. But this is just the beginning for the Diver CEO. We've got big plans to scale this show to every corner of the world and to diversify our guest selection, and that's enabled by you. By a simple thing that you guys do, which is to watch. So if there's one thing you could do to help this show and to help us continue to do what we do, it's just to hit the subscribe button. If you like this show, if you like what we do here, if you watch these episodes, please just hit that subscribe button. It means the world. Let's get on with it. What do I need to know about you and your earliest years to...
gas, like let's keep going, this is fun, I'm not finished with this. And everybody, all my collaborators, we all felt the same way about it, so we just kept going. With this one, I have this feeling of sort of quiet conclusion and sort of this weird serenity of like, we did what we set out to do, and we're all really proud of it. And that feels really, really nice.
I'm not surprised because I feel like the stories, to some degree, there's some conclusion in this album too, from where you began on Folklore, and there's so much closure on this new record. And I want to dive into aspects of that, and I just feel like the future must feel wide open to you right now. But I want to refer back to the Long Pond sessions, and Jack Antonoff said something really poignant, which was, "I've never made an album like this. I don't know if I ever will again."
Yes.
And in your mind and in your heart, you knew you wanted to carry on and there was music to be done, but it felt like for others, assuming that Jack was genuine because he's an honest human, he wasn't sure there would be an Evermore.
Been burnt bad by love and got really sick and ended up on dialysis. Sometimes I contemplate why I am still alive, because the doctors were pretty sure that I was a goner with all that was happening to me. I had really bad pneumonia and a virus that was attacking my heart and then my kidneys. My heart is fine, but my kidneys didn't quite recover, so I am on dialysis and I am on the transplant list for a kidney. I struggle with depression and anxiety, and sometimes I just wonder, why am I still here? I have been handling my depression well lately, but I feel like I am starting to slip back into the darkness. I see a therapist and he has been helping a lot, but I find myself alone a lot in my life, which causes me to always have these deep thoughts about my life. Anyway, are there any words of advice that you could offer up or some encouragement? Well, first of all, you're doing the right thing by seeing a therapist because it's good to get help. Second of all, obviously you're here for a reason. If you'd been through all of that and you're still alive,
you have one man, Mr. Musk, owning more wealth than the bottom 52% of American families. One man, 52% of the American families. You got the top 1% owning more wealth than the bottom 93%. You got CEOs of large corporations making 350 times what their workers make. And meanwhile, in this richest country in the history of the world, working class people are getting decimated. Today, and again, we don't talk about it in Congress for reasons that I hope I can get into.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it in the corporate media. 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Now, I grew up in a family. I don't know your background, but I grew up in a family, lived paycheck to paycheck. And anyone who lives paycheck to paycheck understands that every single day is a struggle. You got to figure out how you feed the kids,